Welcome back, trainers, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Shadow Obstagoon in the Ultra League, as well as a few others that I do enjoy using, and talk about, is Pokemon Go Battle League dead? Let's see what we have going on here, folks. So I personally, over the past couple of months, as time goes on, I find myself doing less and less Go Battle League when I was waiting at midnight to do my next set. And if I wasn't waiting at midnight, it would be one of the first things I did in the morning alongside a cup of coffee or something like that. And I was just ecstatic to do it. Over time, I have not really have been too interested anymore. And I'm going to have to be honest, one of the main reasons is you can't really just have fun anymore. It kind of just counters you almost at every angle a lot of the times. And yes, it does work out so that it does give you great leads as well. But more than not, it's just putting you in a corner where it's just kind of not even a challenge, like, okay, let's work out of this situation here. It's not even like that. I don't want it to just hand me wins, okay? So for the people who want to say something, but we've been here so long, we already know the drill. It's to the point where you're not even in a hard position to win. You're in an impossible position to win. Even if you catch or whatever the case may be, you still are not going to be able to pull it off. It's just you're counted in the front, middle, and back, and there's really nothing you can do some of the time, most of the time. So I just want to ask the question to you all: are you all enjoying this? On top of all of these new Pokemon that they're bringing, I mean, that's great. You know, pretty much it seems like every single community day is now a Pokemon that's a part of PvP. It's very rarely where you get something where it's like, okay, this is upping its whole move pool, so it's going to be better in raids as well, or Gigantamax raids, or I mean mostly raids, right? And now it's just like PvP. You know, I'd be all down for that if it was more of a randomized system and not so much algorithmic, okay? And on top of that, you do have people that do cheat. I see a lot of them will try, when they're about to lose, it's pretty much the only time you will see this, or if they start figuring out they're in a bad position, where the game will start freezing. And we have to remember that the game can freeze by itself as well, okay? But it's too much of a coincidence when you're playing all these games and the only time it seems to be freezing is when you're in a very good winning position, okay? And then all of a sudden it just starts lagging, and then next thing you know, you lose when you had the game. Or you'll find them like kind of freezing out because they try to like freeze it up, or they screwed it up, and then they just end up sitting still. But again, you can chalk that up to the game being laggy and buggy, and that's another reason why people are out, because the game itself, Go Battle League, without anybody cheating or using any sort of exploit on a third-party Discord, it's just simply really slow and sluggish, unresponsive. And it really doesn't even matter if you're playing at a slower frame rate. The input, it's just going to always be slow. Sometimes it doesn't even register. Sometimes you can't even tap. It's just kind of like, at this point, we're years in, and it may be fun to do a couple of sets for some of you if you're extremely bored waiting in a lobby or airport or in a car ride somewhere, who knows what the case may be, and you just did it out of sheer boredom. But for the average person, aside from that, they don't even touch it, okay? And there's a very few dedicated people who are actually still continuously playing. And I found it that the matches seem to be a little bit harder to find now. I don't mind the longer wait times in the lobby whatsoever. It's just something that I've observed. And then we have this Pokemon Championship here. I'm so surprised that they even put it into the Worlds. It's just kind of like the viewership has dramatically dropped, and it's not going, I don't know if it, I think they'll probably discontinue Pokemon Go PvP from the Worlds at some point because of the decline of people who are interested in it. And I feel like the reason why they're making so many PvP Pokemon to begin with is so that they can kind of keep it alive, and they keep trying to breathe new breath into it. Just about think like somebody who's constantly needing CPR 24/7. I know that an iron lung, okay, is that better? And you know, at the second you take it off that support, it's gonna die. And the support is the constant drip feeding of the updates per season for the new moves, how they shuffle them around, and just the constant community day Pokemon, as well as side events that PvP Pokemon that are receiving, so that we can add a few more Pokemon to the pool. But a lot of times these new additions are just not cutting it. It may be fun for the lower ranks, but when you start going up against tryhards, I was a tryhard, I still am, so most of the time, but let's just be real, a tryhard as myself too, okay? But when you start running into these higher ranks or people who are really using a team that they always use every single day that they found to be solid, which is great, you're not going to really be able to do much with these lesser Pokemon that have been introduced that are somewhat okay. They have PvP-esque moves, but they still can't perform. You're stuck with the same old crap over and over. And I have been preaching about this ever since a couple of months after it came out, maybe like a good several months, but I have been talking about this, and this is why I used unique Pokemon, win or lose. This is why a lot of times my rank stays down, because it takes quite a bit sometimes to use something really bad to bring you a few awesome wins and them in a good position just a few times so that I can showcase something that you would probably never use otherwise, okay? And that's what I like to do. And I still like to do it, I just don't bring it to you as much, as my love for PvP has slowly diminished. I used to be extremely enthusiastic. Now I'm sitting there playing, half-assed playing, watching YouTube on the side. But there you go, folks. Let me know what you think. Is Go Battle League dead or dying? Tell me down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.